Good evening, everyone. Welcome to NETsn Live. It's Preseason here alongside Corey Marshall and Corey. How's it going?
Oh man, it's going. Happy to be here today on a Wednesday.
Yeah, something good. We'd like to give a shout out to our normal co-host Vincent on the weather this evening. So he may join us. He may sneak on if he's feeling like it. But give him a shout out. Hope he gets to feeling better real soon. We do his vote in. So Corey, we can talk bad about his vote. He can't defend himself, Corey. That might be fun.
I don't want to trample on somebody, especially when they're down. But we'll see because mine may be horrible as well. So you never know.
You know, and as we get going, like all our sponsors that we have this season that have committed to us. Also, if anybody's interested in sponsoring any broadcast, our show, anything I've gone here at NETsn Live, reach out to us. We're almost there on our social media goal that we've set over the last few weeks. Right before the show came on, we're at 998. Guys, if you haven't liked us on Twitter, it's at NETsn_live. So go like us right now. Share our stuff. We're also on Facebook, YouTube. We have our channel with all our archived video and content. Also, the website NETsn Live has links to all our social media. We also have this in podcast form later. If you like to listen to that on your way to and from, if you're able to catch us live. Lots of ways to listen to us here in our normal weekly wrap-up show spot. But tonight, we're doing a 3-2-A preseason show, Corey. What stuck out to you when you were going through your voting before we reveal our poll?
The hardest thing to me, what stood out was there's a lot of good 3A, 2A schools in these sections. Probably the best region or the area in the state. We all know that. It's going to be a dogfight either way it goes. But like I said, there's really not a. You talking about teams that may have, 30 to 40 guys difference in the school that may separate them. It's not a big difference between the 3 and the 2A right now. So and they're going to compete. So I mean that's one of the best things about it. And I'm just kind of looking at some of the schedule, some of the matchups, some big games coming up.
The thing that stood out to me, I think, was talked about the poll. If you haven't got our other shows, make sure you go back and check those out. 2 weeks ago, we had the 6A, 5A show. Last week, we did 4A. The thing that stuck out to me over the polls is I think there's not going to be a lot of change in the other ones in the top 10. I think 4A, you could have some around towards the bottom. We talked about 6A just not being a whole lot of schools. So, it's one of those, it's a participation award in some of those. Like everybody's going to get in just because there's not. And it's not that way. I think it's the deepest poll of the number of teams that could be in there. I know the votes did. It was that way. Just because of the depth of 3A and then you had 2A. 3A was a lot of depth between divisions, Division 1 and Division 2. And then you had 2A, which you had some, normal powerhouses you got to look at, even though they are smaller to be in the middle. So I think that was the big thing with me. Right. I think it was just there's a lot of teams. I'm talking 15 to 20 teams possibly that come up in and out during the season just to things go.
Yeah, I feel the exact same way, and this is definitely a harder schedule, not a harder schedule, but a harder poll to kind of put together. Now, the top of the poll to me isn't very hard. I kind of gave people the benefit of the doubt, but other than that, I mean, it's up in the air from here to me. So I like what I put together. I'm confident.
Let's see what we've got. We'll rank them from start at the bottom as we do every week. We'll start at the bottom and move to the top. Coming in at number 10 this week's poll, time between Tahawk and Gladewater.
Who was at the? You kind of breaking up a little bit. I heard Gladewater.
Tahawk and Gladewater tied for this week.
Okay.
Moving up one spot to number 9, DeKalb.
Okay. Yeah, I got DeKalb.
Number 8, Tatum.
Okay.
Number 7,
Beckville. Okay.
Number 6, Malakoff. Number 5, Simpson. Number 4, West Rusk. And a tie second, Vernon and Wascom. And number 1 in this week's poll goes to Dangerfield. Thoughts, Corey?
I had Wascom as number 1. I picked him number 1. I gave him a lot of credit for that season that they had. But honestly, the top 3, you really can't go wrong. Mount Vernon could have easily been number 1. They returned a lot of guys and lost, 1 game last year?
Yeah.
So, and then, of course, you got Dangerfield is always good. They got a Texas commit. So, shout out to him. That's going to be good. Wascom's they're both good on, football and basketball. So they're going to get a lot of credit. And then they're going to be listed as well. And to me, I'm just looking at Mount Vernon's schedule. They got Gladewater on the 2nd of September. And it's going to be at home. That's going to be a big game, too. They got Pewitt and they got Sabine, which is not going to be bad. Mineola's going to be a pretty good matchup. And the district is not saying it's a throwaway, but Winsboro's decent. Commerce is going to be decent, and of course you got Pottsboro. So
you got Mineola second, right behind Mount Vernon. So I think that's probably their biggest competition.
Yeah, and this is the thing, and there's no way there's no way we could actually do this poll and not be disrespectful. If we did it, this is probably the only poll we could do 20, and and it would still be. But you could pick.
You've got listen, just some couple of towns nearby here that were mentioned in the poll that maybe later. You've got Troop, you've got Coach Meek in his first season down there, hoping to turn around. Some different rivals with Russ. Those are all usually really good games. How good Overton is. I mean, you've got so many Carlisle. You got so many good teams around here. Like you just don't know who's going to turn out. I mean, I could list probably 20, just like you said. I mean, that are in the area that have been good. I mean, I know that Troop's got a former Chapel Hill Stars son on their team. Trey Davis, he's a tour player to watch out for. Shout out to Charles if he's listening. But there, so it could be dangerous. I know they've got a couple of guys that went there from Chapel Hill as well. So, I mean, this was really deep. It was really tough for me. I think the ones just from between the 3 of us picked. Y'all didn't have Mineola in your poll. I had them number 8.
I didn't have Gladewater in my poll, and
neither one of y'all had Gladewater in your poll. I had them number 7.
Yeah, I was thinking, I'm like, where is Gladewater in all of this? And knowing that they're gonna always have a good season, and Gladewater's not. They finished with 10-2 last year. Or 10-3, 11-3.
And
I could be wrong.
They're picked to win their district according to Dave Campbell's. Yeah. If you haven't picked up a Dave Campbell's football magazine, I think they are available in the store. Corey, did you ever get yours?
I haven't got mine yet.
You still waiting to live to send it?
Right. I'm not giving you shout outs because we got the thing with Texas. But, no.
So the inside joke here, we got to share this with the audience, Corey. Corey has a subscription to NETsn Live. Shout out to NETsn Live. That's where we'll be all season long covering your Chapel Hill Bulldogs for those in the area. But he had a subscription. He was waiting for his Dave Campbell's. Now, Dave Campbell's bought out NETsn Live. They own them, and it's just a sub company. But you have to subscribe to Dave Campbell's subscription to get the magazine, not NETsn Live. And expect his Vince and I had ours sitting here waiting, and we explained to him last week that he'd be waiting a long time if he was waiting for them to send one. So those of you out there that know the magazine are waiting on their NETsn Live script to send the magazine, and it's not coming. You're going to have to subscribe to Dave Campbell's. It's a great website. If you love high football and basketball, they've got a lot of great content, and it's a lot of it's on the paid tier, but it's
Football Bible of
worth it.
Texas.
I mean, it's great. You've got Step Show that's on there, premium content, some great stuff here. So shout out to those guys; they do a great job. But they got picked number one in the district over Tatum. I mean, that's gonna be a tough district between the two.
I'm looking at their schedule. They may have, no doubt they have the tough in the ranks here. They have Dangerfield week 1, Mount Vernon week 2, Spring Hill. Then they go to Malakoff and play Gunter. And they have Tatum to start district. So
teams that we just mentioned in a rank too.
Right. And then, it's not an easy road. Then you got Sabine, which is better. Jefferson, which is always going to be pretty good. Atlanta, which is always good. And then they got to close out at White Oak. So you can't go to sleep in that district for Gladwell. They're picked to win the district. So for me to disrespect them and not put them in my top 10, that just kind of it's nothing against Gladwell at all. I just, I picked Tenaha up there.
Well, after week 1, depending on what happens, if they pick up a win, they be in your top 10 this week.
Absolutely, because we still got to pick them again, so they may shoot up. And if I had to pick a poll, like right now, I'd probably pick them. If I had to redo it again, they would probably be where Beckville is in my poll personally.
Let's visit our chat here, Corey. Get our viewers involved tonight. Thank you for those who are watching. We got Christian here tonight. Join us. I think Tatum should be number 3, Corey.
I'm not doubting it. I'm not doubting it at all. I'm not doubting it at all. That's how we. And here's the thing. Anywhere you could kind of like mix these up, at least you can take like the top. I said the top 3. But we already know Tatum's every year.
Christian a shout out because I had them 4 in my poll. And so I tried. I had them up there. Both Corey and Vince had 10. So that's what drug them down the poll. So we're on the same lines there, Christian. I had them just below 3. I had them at 4. But good shout out. We've got Bump BTY5X 8 Chins Dangerfield. So shout out to one of our viewers. Thanks for tuning in. This is your new viewer. I hope you tune in and just
Dangerfield.
Give us your name. We'll get a shout out. Show.
Yeah, I mean that's a good.
Yeah, I mean, Danger's always a perennial power. You never know when they're going to have that team that's going to make that run. But they're always number 1 in the poll. So no pressure, Dangerfield. You're ranked number 1 in the first annual NETsn Sports Network preseason poll.
Yeah, I'm assuming that Vince picked Dangerfield as well.
Vince had Dangerfield number 3. The same spot you had them, Corey.
Okay.
So the top votes were all different. You had Wascom number. Vince had Mount Vernon and I Dangerfield. So we all had different. The votes are all the same. If you want to go a little deeper in the poll here, Dangerfield had 20 points. On the poll, you had Mount Vernon and Wascom with 24, West Rusk with 22. So those 4 are the top. We're all very close. West Rusk returned a lot of talent. They're going to be very good as well.
Yeah, they are. West Rusk is going to be very good. I'm anticipating them doing a very good job this season coming up as well. And like you said, that Dangerfield Timpson game. So a lot of these teams, like we discovered when we did the Class 4A, a lot of these teams are playing each other. So, you know,
Well,
you can get a chance to see.
well, what we know is they're great games for us fans, but also it's great tests for the teams. You know,
Absolutely.
you put yourself in a position to take. You can nail early, that's fine, but you're challenging yourself so that when it's week 7, 8, 9, 10, you're peaking. We all found that out over the last couple of years as on the Chapel Hill team. It doesn't take, but you peak at the right time and you can make a run. You know, it doesn't matter what you're doing week 1, week 2, week. You get the right peak and you make that run, anything can happen.
And they definitely want to make a run, just like when we discovered last year, West West was 12-0. You know, and they lost the 13th game of the season, and you know, obviously they lost to Dangerfield. And you don't want to get to that point in time. Like I said, I'd rather take an early loss, you know, or early couple of losses, and finish the regular season 8-2, and then make a run and win the state title. Obviously, you want to go undefeated. That looks great, but I'd rather take 2 early losses and then, you know, control the table, get to the promised land, and go from there. But I mean, I'm just thinking about the West Rush team. They beat a very good New Waverly team, 42-17, and they're right outside of the East Texas area. And New Waverly's kind of like, I would say they're a smaller version of Chapel Hill, because they're right outside like any kind of city. That's right outside of Huntsville, that Centerville area, and in Centerville, not Centerville, but Madisonville, right out there. And they get a lot of good athletes. They're really good at basketball. That's a very good win. But Dangerfield heading to West Rush, but they're 12-0 and then playing Dangerfield. That's got to hurt for those young guys too.
And they got chat again from Bumpy TY5X. Gunter's going to be with, and I feel they're in the middle of these districts that we were talking about. You know, as far as 3A Division 2,
Right.
they are picked in their district. Where is Gunter? Do you know, Corey? I've heard of them, but I just don't know where.
Say that's a little north. I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
and I could be wrong. Hold on.
Bumpy TY5X. Go let us know where it is. I know they're close to. That's just the normal teams that cover. We can talk about them. That's no. Let us know where they are. We'd like interesting. I just know that the way the districts broke out, like you had, first you had over here in the. They're kind of weird because these were separated out. You had the West District is, District 9, which is Region 3, and then you had the district he's talking about, Gunter, is District 8.
Yeah, Gunter's northwest. Yeah, Gunter's northwest of us. Is over there by Salina, Van Alstyne.
Okay.
Over there in that 380 quarter, and that's kind of funny. I'm a little bit. All of those schools over there, and I'm pretty sure Gunter's probably going to grow as well. You got Salina, Melissa, Anna. All those schools are like in the cuffs of being 5A and 6A. So Gunter's right outside of Salina.
Well, and if that grows right where they grow enough in the middle of the year that they're in the 3A level, their numbers could be a lot more than what their actual classification is.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they're knocking on 4A pretty soon, because Salina's a 4A. So you've been in East, you know Salina's been 3A for years and years and years, and then they finally jumped up to 4A, and then it could be 5A in a couple of years. And that area, that region there is just blossom altogether. So, but Gunter, that's out of the way, but it's still some good football.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, definitely a good one. Keep an eye on them as the season goes along.
Commerce wasn't bad either. They didn't have a bad season at all last year.
No, they didn't. A couple of these smaller schools that I talk about, of course, Timpson. Give a shout out to our boy Jerry Jones, big Timpson supporter. I don't know if he has family there. I can't remember. He is definitely he's always talking up Timpson. They're going to be loaded again this year. I think they beat last year by the state champs, I believe.
Yeah, Timpson's one of those diamond in the rough type places, And like I said, start of the show, small ball in East Texas is a gold mine. The 3A and 2A level here in East Texas, you throw a rock and you can find a state championship contender, and it's prevalent there. It's like now I could be wrong. West hadn't had football for a long time. Am I correct? It's like maybe past 10 years.
Who's
they
that?
kind of resurrected that a little bit. West Rusk.
Yeah, they've. I mean, I know they've always had a good baseball team. And speaking of, give a shout out to West Rusk Little League, won the World Series at 12 and under or 12U team.
Right.
That's an awesome accomplishment. Representing this area. So, that beat Timpson last year with the Brook brothers. One of the older brothers graduated, and so now they only have one Brooks brother. So we'll see if they're able to, if this thing can get over the hump, if they get back to the game. I think they gave the toughest game. They didn't have any.
Timpson went undefeated, and then they played the eventual state champion, and and gave it all they had and lost by 7 points. So, and then of course we left out Centerville. That's really good, and they made it. They got slaughtered by Timpson last year, but we left out Centerville, and
they're picked to finish first in their district as well. Yeah. So you got a lot of.
I kind of struggle putting Centerville in that East Texas area, that region, but I mean, of course, the travel and everything with East Texas, some schools got to go a little bit further southwest to kind of get there. But other than that, I mean,
another team
still pretty good.
Another team picked them just down at the bottom of the 10 spot, Tennehaw. They always have a good team.
Yes, Tennehaw is always good. Football, basketball doesn't matter.
They're probably in the closest district in this classification, 2A Division 2. They also have Carlisle, Alto, and we talked about Alto, and that's a sad story in itself. But they're in that district. You've got Ching, Mount Enterprise, Overton, all in little, 2A Division 2, Smith County district, or Rusk County, be some of that too, because it's on the edge.
I might retract my previous statement about Gladewater having the best preseason schedule. Timpson, all right, I don't know if they could breathe. Beckville, Jefferson, Dangerfield, Wascom, Grapeland. That's the first 5 games.
Man, that is a tough one. Shout out to join us. Thanks for joining tonight, Chris. Give us your poll, Chris. We've talked about it. We'll see how it compares. And anybody that wants to put their poll in there and compare it to ours, we'd love to hear from you. But yeah, there's just a lot of teams in these little districts that rank one, and there's not room on this poll. It's just a tough. It's a tough poll. I think it was a lot harder to just put on. I thought originally,
this one I knew was going to be a harder one. I knew this was.
Well, I mean, it would be, but like when I started looking at the teams, I was like, man, they're good. Well, man, I forgot about this team. They're good too. This poll may be the toughest to get in the top 10 of any poll. I'm pretty sure it's going to be like you're going to have a winning record. There's not going to be any. Now, I think 4 you probably will too. But this poll, you're going to have to, show us some things. May have 4 or 5 teams that aren't even in this poll right now may end up in top 10 before the season's over.
I'm laughing because I'm sitting there thinking, okay, we could look at week 7. You go fast forward to week 7. That first 5 could be at the bottom.
Yeah, it could well be that way. It's just the nature of the beast. It'll score. least Texas
Right.
football, so they beast. And as you're listing off their schedules here, I mean they're playing each other. They're beating down dog out of each other every week for the first 5 weeks. They're going to go in a district, and a couple of each team has a couple of tough games in there. So, looks like we got Mr. Sweat joining us tonight. Thanks for joining us. Are you going to give us a poll? Just give us your top 10, top 5, whatever you want to do. Thanks for joining us. Hope y'all are enjoying the show. We'd like to thank all the sponsors and everybody that helps us. Please share the show. If you like what we're doing and you think, hey, a friend of mine would like to share it, we're all over the place on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, our website, NETsn. So make sure you tell your friends about us.
Absolutely. Trying to read schedules, trying to read these schedules and matchups. It's a lot. I kind of had some other notes trying to jot down a little bit. The Wascom, Timpson game, Timpson Beckfield, Tatum and Dangerfield. Whew.
Yeah.
That's always a rough one.
That's gonna be a great one.
But I didn't see this. I did not see a Gladewater-Gilmer game.
No. The Battle of the G's. Hey, Gilmer's playing a tough schedule. We don't talk about them. I think Gladewater maybe was not tough enough on their schedule. Put a couple of them on the schedule this year. Maybe.
I think I want to go back to before. I think Gilmer had a plan, in place. Like, man, maybe not this year. We got a measuring stick coming up, and they got to the state championship game last year, and I'm pretty sure thinking, maybe not play Gilmer, maybe not play Gladewater this year.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not play him this year.
Well, it's kind of like the White House thing that bugs me that they won't play us. They're just not on a level anymore. Maybe that's why we're not going to schedule them.
Pewitt is not. Pewitt was 6-5 last year, 5-1 in their district, and made a decent little run and got shut out by Troop. And
so
they're not.
I'd be surprised if Troop is not on our poll.
You must be being disrespectful to Troop, but they finished 8-4, 3-3 last year in the district, and and bowed out. This year, let me look at the schedule real quick. And if anybody in chat, Troop, shout out.
Troop had a tough schedule last year. Had a tough district. They were, I think, with Wascom, Legion Fields, that group with Art and West Rusk. I mean, that was a killer district.
Yeah,
I changed it up a little bit.
I got White Oak, which is going to be it's a test. It's a bump. Carlisle, Buffalo. That's a decent game. Pewitt is going to be a good game. Quitman is going to be a decent game. Edgewood is going to be really good. Of course, they got ARP in the middle.
Well, Dangerfield District. Dangerfield District? That's kind of take some team. I mean, Dangerfield, Wascom, Elysian Fields, Hugh Springs, they're usually pretty good over the last few years.
And we're not even giving Elysian.
You got here we go. Let's go through this. What they did last year. Dangerfield regional finalist. You've got Elysian Fields area finalist. Harmony by-district finalist, so they make playoffs. You got Hugh Springs by-district finalist. New Diana did not make the playoffs. Queen City did not make the playoffs. And Washington State semifinals. You've got 5 teams in that district that made playoffs last year. Somebody's getting let out the show this year. That's gonna be a tough gauntlet.
I'm just writing some of these teams down real quick. I'm making my little list here,
so you can remember to put them in your poll next week, huh?
Yeah, like I'm watching. Like this is the bubble watch. This.
Well, the bubble is it's large.
Big bubble. It's a large bubble, and then you got Elysian Fields completely left out of Elysian Fields, and
Same on you.
I'm like, what year have they been bad? Or not?
Yeah. Elysian Fields. they returned 5 offensive and 5 defensive starters. Area finalist team. Yeah, they're going to have 11 returning out of 26. Of course, get that East school, and there's not a whole lot of team. So we're seeing those 4 classes. It's like whoever's the best from varsity. You're not going to big deal. Age doesn't matter.
Right.
Oh, you're good. Okay, you're on varsity. You're up.
Right. I mean, just that's kind of how it is. And of course, when I'm sitting there looking at this, you got Garrison too, which they finished 6-6 last year and 2-3. You played 12 games, and you made the playoffs, play 12 games. So that's another team that could, they could come out and make and make a run.
And got in the Cass district.
Yes.
You would sit there. They're usually pretty.
Pewitt, I'm circling Pewitt. That's a dark horse. Legion Field's a dark horse. Hugh Springs could be a dark horse. But Pewitt and Legion Field's, yeah.
I'm gonna give a shout out as a dark horse pick to Schmeek Dog and the Art Tigers. I think they bounce back this year and make the playoffs for season.
I'm hoping success. I'm hoping success for Schmeek Dog and Art. Got a little tie there. So
yeah,
and we would never disrespect the head coach like that. But we've known him before, so as I always say.
Yeah, I think that's a great opportunity, well deserved. And so I think,
right.
I mean, ARP's always had tradition in their football program. They've always been, one of those that's, if they're not in the playoffs, they're always knocking the door. They don't have bad seasons very often. You look at, look at what they lost about half and half. They're returning off their team 11. But they got five on each ball returning of a 7-4 by district team. The playoffs last year, probably the first time in a while. And I think he was the defense coordinator on that coaching staff. So I know kind of he had some new coaches come in and give him a shot in the arm, and hopefully he continue that. As they're picked behind West Rusk and Troop 2 rivals, they're third in the district. So I think the district favors him a little bit better than last year. It will be as tough. Of course, we talked about West Rusk. They're just they returning 20 guys, 8 on offense and 6 on defense. They got a lot coming. And that team last year, regional finalist, undefeated in district. You got to figure they're a favorite. I had them number 2 in my poll. So I really think West Rusk is going to have a really good season. Their quarterbacks, 2,600 yards, 35 touchdowns. I mean, that's for a 3-8 level like that. So, and going through the district, Edgewood, Grand Slam, Winona, and Quitman, none of those really stick to me. I think your top 3 are pretty solidified, and then I think it's everybody else.
Right. And if you want to go a little bit deeper, that Crockett district with Cold Springs, Crockett, that area, that district, still that's like the last little cusp of East Texas I would consider. You got Cold Springs went 8-3 and 5-1 in the district last year, and they're always, they got great athletes there. They got a nice little schedule and play Corrigan, Huntington, Woodville, Westwood, Diboll, which is going to be pretty decent. They made the playoffs last year, so I mean you got some games, and it's a gauntlet to see who plays who. And of course, the travel is a bit much sometimes, but Crockett's not that far away. Diboll's in the same Piney Woods area, so I mean those are good matchups too. You don't want to just leave those teams out, but like I said, Cold Springs is always good. I'm gonna put them on my dark horse as well.
I'm excited for the matchups that we're gonna have, and that we're gonna get to talk about next week. We're gonna have our week 1 preview show. We'll the big matchups in week 1, all classifications here in Northeast Texas. We'll put together our pick'em challenge. We'll kind of pick how we're going to do those. We're going to pick the big games for the week. Those big matches Corey's been talking about. We're going to choose those. Anybody that's here on the show with us submit their picks and try to beat us. We'll have Vince back next week, so we make sure we beat him as well, right, Corey? We're going to hopefully.
It's not going to be hard to beat. Not going to be hard to
beat. So we'll have those. So, I mean, we'll talk about all those matchups. If there's a matchup that you want to talk about, this is an interaction show. You'll be able to get on the chat and say, what do you think about this matchup? We'll talk about it. Let's basically that's next week. Now, we've given you our polls, our predictions, what we think is going to happen. Now let's talk week 1 this week. And it's less than 10 days away. We're at 9 days away from
9 days.
Game, or 9 days away from week 1.
Also, be the 26th of August. We have one game 1, and this is it's some big games in East Texas, especially in the 4A, 3A, and 2A region. So,
and Corey will have some kind of announcement next week too, so you can't miss next week's show because he's got things cooking in his head there, and I think he's going to be announced it next week. So you can't miss that as well. We'll have back. Hopefully by then we'll be at 1,000 followers on Twitter. So check us out at NETsn _live. My Twitter. Follow me at Brett Swinney, and it's right below.
Yeah, at your boy CM.
So go follow us on Twitter.
Very, very. It's very important. After this week, after next week, you follow us and follow me in particular because I'm going to need your help with things on Friday.
On the line that So you're getting extra pub tonight. You're going to get a little extra bump.
Yeah, and then I'm not really good with Twitter, but I like it. It's pretty fun, I swear, if I was like 10 years younger, Twitter would be my best friend. I would.
And
literally say probably have 2,000 followers.
We're all coming up with new things that we're doing here in NETsn Live, and new things that we've got going, and with me, Vince, and go follow us, and that way you can be up to date, and know what we've got going. We've got some things coming down the pipe, and the only way to know is go follow us on social media. Also, make sure you go to our website. NETsn.live. We have an area scoreboard. Got a place that you use to app score stream. You can use that app, and basically, anytime you report score, it goes directly to our site. Also, any followers that use their team, and so it's basically a glorified scoreboard there for this area. So you can go there and check out scores there. We have our live stream. Anytime we go live, it streams right there on our website front page. NETsn live. So yeah, and then all our social media platforms are there. So check out the website. If you like what we're doing, or anything, and you want some comments, or just give us a tweet and say, hey, I like what you're doing. Hey, we wish you did this. Give us ideas. This show is for the interaction of the East area. We're just here having a good time talking sports, and if there's something that you want us to talk about East Texas football right now.
Yeah, even if you don't like what we have to say, I'm always constructive criticism. Always, it's always good. If we're not representing, or I love the podcast thing, and so even if you have any kind of hate, any kind of I dislike that, just shoot us an email, so let us know. We'd love to have you on the show. You can add me. I'm pretty interactive that way. Add me. We can talk about it. I love the interaction part, and
if we don't
and that is something
enough or something that you don't like, let us know.
Because this is a hot. We love doing this. We're all East Texas kids. I say kids. We're someone's kids, so we're all East Texas kids. And we love talking East Texas football, and I know you guys. It's a good time of year to be in Texas and talk football. It's always exciting, and somebody in East Texas will win a state championship or go to the state title. It's just a matter of time every year. Does the exact same thing. So I mean, we get excited about this. So if you guys want to represent your school, your community, positive way, something we miss, I love to see, some of you guys are filming games or do like a highlight or something like that. Tweet it to us. We love to see that. We can share on the page, give you guys a shout out, something like that. So, we got 998 followers. Somebody's a fan. Tweet us, tweet me, follow me, and we can go from there. We can make it happen.
Yeah, and also make sure you tune in each week. We'll have our week 1 pre-show, but then after that, we'll start our weekly wrap-up shows. We'll be starting from 2 weeks from tonight, continue on football and into basketball season as well. So if you have time, Wednesday night, 8:30 p.m., we'll be here. We'll be here to talk sports in East Texas. And if you can't be here, always go catch the show later. And, again, like Corey said, bad, ugly, let us know. Like I said, we do this because we love Texas sports. We love the area, and we just love to talk about it. And so, we love to be interactive and have your support, whether you're here live or not. We love the feedback and the constructive criticism. If we're not doing it for y'all, then we're sitting here talking to each other. So,
right. I mean, we can talk shop all day. Like, I can talk sports all day. It doesn't matter to me. But, we can talk about something we like to talk about. East Texas sports, football, basketball, it doesn't matter. If you got something interesting you want to talk about, bring it up. I do want to do a little tidbit this way. So we're hinting around it. Okay. We've been hinting around this, not dropping anything, hinting around this. Friday nights, we want you guys to be interactive with us. On Fridays, be very interactive with us on Fridays. We'll make it a lot of fun, especially after the football games. Okay. So tweet us, retweet us. We want to get you guys active on there. Student athletes, spread the word. We're going to tag some guys, tag some schools and stuff like that, especially the schools we've been covering, or we may make some announcements about, some of the games and stuff, the highlight games. We'll tag you guys in there, tweet us. We want to hear from the games because we can't see every game, obviously. So we want to see what type of atmosphere it is at the game. You can see the fans, people in the stands, the band. I'm a band nerd. We got football players, basketball players, band people, statisticians. We did it all. So we like to see the Friday night.
Tag in those. Posts. Like I said, we're almost at 1,000 followers. We have a lot of around Texas there that follow us. So that way we can get your score out, whether it's a score or just a play during the game. Maybe it was an awesome play you record on your phone, or maybe it's just a halftime show. It's all part of East Texas football. Include us in that so we can get that out there and make it where we know you as a fan. That's the way we want. So, well, anything else you got, Corey, on the close here for the 3A2A show?
No, like I said, there's so many 2A and 3A schools we didn't hit on. I'm afraid that the poll, I already tell you right, that poll's not gonna last. Like that no. by week 4 it's probably gonna be completely different, except for maybe the top 3 or 4 schools. So I mean, we may have some blowouts, may have some close games, but I'm feeling kind of confident that some of these bubble schools that we circled are probably going to be up there in the top 10 somewhere.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's going to be. I would predict that there's going to be at least 2 of these schools, at least, that aren't in this poll right now. That end of the season, that's going to be my prediction. Like I said, give us a shout out on Twitter. For Vince at home, well soon, buddy. Corey, I'm Brett. We'll see you next time right here on NETsn Live Preseason Football Show. Night, everyone.